wanted the best? You've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks, Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There, ladies, things that makes official. Welcome to 17 years of the Chris Voss Show and over 2,700 episodes. We're starting to get towards 2,800 episodes of the Chris Voss Show. We should be hitting, 3,000 this year. As one of the oldest shows still broadcasting regularly, we bring you just the most amazing authors in the world, and minds and stories and tales and all the things to uplift your life. For the show to your family, friends, and relatives, go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet. Today, we're joined by a wonderful young man. Shamir Duverseau is on the show with us today. He's the managing director of a company that's called Smart Panda Labs. And evidently what they do is they hire pandas that are really smart, and they get them in the labs to do science and stuff or something. No, we're going to find out. Anyway, that's why you got to wait to find out. Shamir is responsible for business management, marketing, and business development for the company. He has worked across numerous industries, from travel to entertainment to technology, working with brands like Southwest Airlines, the Walt Disney Company, and NBC Universal. During his last 15 years of marketing and leadership roles, overseeing everything from product management to digital strategy, including user experience, web development, testing, web analytics. Prior to Smart Labs, he was the senior director in digital strategy and services for the Marriott International Vacation Club division. Welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me. Congrats, by the way, on almost 3,000 episodes. That's pretty incredible. And thank you for referring to me as a young man. So great start.
There you go. Well, you like to gas up our guests and make them feel really good about themselves. And you don't look a day over 30. So you and me. So, well, more you. So give us .coms. Where do you want people to find out more about you guys on the interwebs?
Yeah, smartpandalabs.com is the best place to go to learn about us and what we're doing as an agency. And certainly to learn more about me, you can follow me on Instagram or LinkedIn. I guarantee you will not find another Shamir Duverseau on either of those platforms. So I should be pretty easy to find. There
you go. You got that great, unique name.
Yes.
It's easy to get your .coms and stuff. So give us a 30,000 overview. What you guys do at Smart Panda Labs, and how many pandas do you have over there?
We have a whole zoo full of pandas. We do a lot of things at the lab. The name doesn't at all speak to kind of what we do, other than the fact that we definitely are about the science of it, right? So we're a technical marketing agency, and we help enterprise companies with their technical marketing efforts, particularly around the kind of experience they want to deliver to their customers once they actually get to the website, once they start interacting with the company, making decisions about what to buy and what happens after that.
With what to buy. Now, is it a SaaS service, or looks like it's B2C? How does it basically work? How do people sign up with the agency and integrate themselves into what you do, or vice versa, or both?
Yeah. So the way that we kind of describe it to people is we kind of think of a typical situation, right? You're driving home from work one day and you decide, you know what, I need to stop and pick up a box of cereal. Like, I just realized I'm out, I need to get something for the kids to eat in the morning. I swing by, hit the parking lot, run inside the store. Fortunately, I kind of sort of know the store, so I know where to go. I'm able to read the aisles. I find my box of cereal, and I run, and I get to the checkout counter, and all of a sudden, there's only like 4 lines open. Self-checkout's broken. The lines are like 20 people long, and you say to yourself, I'm tired. I'm not doing this. You put the box of cereal on the nearest shelf, and you leave, and you're like, I'll come figure this out later. Like, I'm not dealing with this now. So what we refer to that as is the post-click experience. So you've gotten someone to come to your store. In our case, you've gotten someone to come to your website. Now, what are you doing to make it as easy for them as possible to actually do what you want them to do, to fill out the form, to make a purchase, whatever the case is? So what we do is we help companies by means of our consulting services to do that, right? What do they need to design? What do they need to build? What do they need to research in order to help people make those kinds of decisions and get them all the way through the checkout, and hopefully get them to actually say, this was such a great experience. This is such a great product. I want to come back and I want to buy from this brand again. I want to do business with these people again.
Mm-hmm. There you go. It all makes a difference in the quality of stuff that you do. Now, how long have you guys been around for?
We've been around for, let's see, this month will be 16 years since we got started.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
16 years.
Yep.
That's quite a long time. Now, have you been with them the whole time, or did you help launch the company?
I did. Yeah. I'm actually one of the co-founders. I launched the company a bit on the side as I was kind of finishing up my time at Marriott. And then fortunately, it was a side gig at first, but then enough that I was able to quit my day job and make this my day job. And I've been happy for 16 years ever since.
Ah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
That works out well in getting all this stuff done. So you did a lot of things before this. You worked for Disney and other places, and Marriott, a few other Southwest Airlines, NBC Universal. What sort of things did you do there that helped kind of lead you in this direction of eventually, I guess, working for yourself?
Yeah, so I started my professional career, working with Southwest Airlines, working with their vacation packages, and I was actually in product marketing at the time. And as I was doing that, one of the things I kind of picked up on was whenever something got a little bit more technical, more complicated, I felt comfortable doing it, and everyone else kind of shied away from it. So they kind of threw all that stuff at me. So I got really comfortable really fast with the technical stuff. It was about the time, early 2000s, when the internet was really taking off and really becoming a big, big part of any corporation's, any organization's business. So people started throwing more and more people and more resources at this internet thing and trying to figure out, okay, how do we make that grow? So by that time, I'd gone to NBC Universal. I was working with some of their internet partners, like Expedia and those kinds of guys. And then they said, you know what, we need more people on the actual team working with our website. So Shamir, guess what? You have a new job. You're now going to, instead of doing this, you're now going to do this. So, I had a good mentor there. I grabbed a couple of books back when people actually used to read books. I read up on coding and more technical aspects of things. And I started actually getting into the internet and kind of learning that world all of a sudden. And I kind of grew up with it as it kind of got bigger and bigger and became more and more of a behemoth going into the late 2000s, early 2010s, mid 2010s. That's where I kind of came up, kind of learning that world and all that was involved in it.
Oh, wow. There you go. And now you decided to quit marketing for a while at that time, or just quit and start your own agency?
I decided to quit and start my own agency. So what I kind of found was a couple of things. So on the one hand, on the corporate side, I found that a lot of the issues and challenges that we were having across the companies I worked for, whether it was Universal or Disney or Marriott, was the fact that marketing people tend to be very creative, which is great. But they also tend to shy away from anything that's technical. And again, as I kind of mentioned, that was something that I kind of learned to be good at. And the internet, you can't really avoid it. It's going to get technical. I mean, it's the internet, right? It's on a computer. It's going to get technical. So the internet brings an interesting mix of the creativity of marketing, the technical aspects of IT and engineering and software, the product aspects of what it is that you're actually selling, and having all those things really hopefully morph together in a way that makes sense and allows the business to actually be in business and actually do business online.
Yeah.
But people had a lot of challenges with that. But I found that was something I was good at. So once I kind of realized that, I said, well, I can help other people to be able to be good at that, right? I can kind of fill that gap. I can kind of bridge that world. I can be the translator at the table where marketing is speaking French and engineering is speaking Japanese. And I can kind of be that person in the middle, that diplomat that helps them kind of figure out exactly what they want to do and ultimately kind of serve themselves and their customers and get home at a decent hour because they're not banging their heads against the wall, right? So that was one reason. That was one thing that kind of took me in the direction. The other thing that took me in the direction was, frankly, I really wanted a lot more personally control of my schedule. I just wanted to do the things I wanted to do in life. I do a lot of volunteer work, right? So those things were really important to me. And that was the time when remote work was very scarce. And
Mm.
when you did find a remote job, it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, you can work remote. Just make sure you push this button once every 10 minutes so that we know you're sitting there at your desk at the time. So I was like, well, I could find a remote job, but that's not giving me much latitude. So I kind of came to the conclusion, the only way I could get the latitude I wanted is if I was my own boss and was able to give myself the
Oh,
latitude. So
yeah.
those two kind of worlds kind of collided. Hey, I found I'm pretty good at this. I found that I really wanted a little bit more control over my schedule and my life, and I wanted to put certain things first. When those two things collided, so was born Smart Panda Labs.
Oh, well, there you go. Working for yourself, I mean, there's just nothing like it. I mean, it's challenging. It can be dangerous because,
Mhm.
you're like, hey, it's just, what if this doesn't work out? That's always
Yep.
the thing. Now, one of the things you guys talk about is this concept of post-click psychology. Let's get in the framework of this. And how does it turn traffic into committed buyers?
Yeah. So right, we go back to that idea of that store, right, running in that supermarket, and all the things that need to happen, all the things that need to go right to be able to make that purchase, right?
Hmm.
So being able to quickly find that box of cereal, being able to go to checkout, being able to check out quickly. And like the example I gave, it wasn't like, you or I can't stay in line for, whatever it is, the 10 minutes or 15 minutes it takes to buy the box of cereal. It's that it's a hassle. And
Hmm.
as human beings, we don't like hassle, right?
Yeah.
So really experiences of buying online, it's really about like taking away that perceived hassle, right? And that's really
Hmm.
about behavior and how people think and how people feel and how we make decisions about things. It's less about kind of the technical kind of, ones and zeros aspects of it. So what
Hmm.
we kind of found was, as we started to think about this, it's really these psychological elements of how people's brains work, of how people sometimes are in a mode where they're making these fast, quick decisions, and sometimes they're in a mode where they have to really slow down and make more complex decisions. So,
Hmm.
behavioral scientists talk about this a lot. They talk about the part of your thinking and the part of the brain that operates when someone says, hey Chris, what's 2 + 2? And you say, it's 4. Great.
Hmm.
Super easy, right? I mean, you can do that and chew gum and walk at the same time. Like it ain't no thing, right? But when
Uh-huh.
someone says, hey Chris, what's 17 times 34? And Chris, you may be a savant, and I don't want to say you're not, but for most of us, normal people, we have to stop and think like, okay, I can figure this out. But if I
Hmm.
am walking, I'm probably going to stop and I'm probably going to look up and I'm going to need to
Hmm.
visualize the numbers in my head. I might even close my eyes. It's going to take a lot more brain power, right? I need to start
Oh.
shutting things off to devote more brain power to this more complex decision, right?
Hmm.
So we want to keep people out of that complexity and we want to keep them in that simple aspect of their thinking. And that's
Hmm.
that's what post-click psychology is all about. It's about what are those kind of tips and tools and triggers that we can use on a website, in an email, in a text message that as much as possible keep people either in that kind of simple, what we call system one thinking, or
Mm.
at least keep them out of system two, the more complex thinking as much as possible. Like they have to go in there
Hmm.
sometimes because you have to think things through if you're, buying an expensive vacation or you're making maybe a healthcare decision. But how do we kind of keep them out of that as much as possible and kind of keep the stress and the pressure off so people can make those kind of decisions? And that's kind of the overall thinking and framework we use as we're helping people work through their website, as we're helping them work through their communications and how they're working with their customers.
Hmm. Would you call that keep it simple, stupid sort of thing?
I would call it keep it as simple as it reasonably can be stupid. It's kind of because some things are just going to be complex. I mean, if you're shopping
Oh
for
yeah.
a car, right, or you're trying to find a hospital to maybe to treat some serious condition, like it's gonna get it's serious. Like it's gonna take thought. Some of the stuff's not going to be very simple, right? So it's like if something has to be complicated, then let's not make the things that don't have to be complicated complicated,
Hmm.
right? Let's keep
Yeah.
those things as simple as possible. Let's kind of bring it down a notch, right? So that people are in a better frame of mind and they can kind of focus on what really matters.
There you go. The focusing on what really matters. Yeah. Anytime you do option overload or too many
Mhm.
options or too much, I've had times where some people, they'll give me some form that they want me to fill out, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't have the kind of time for that. I'm just trying to buy some shit from you, man. Like,
Yes.
why are you making this? I got more hoops to jump through than, whatever. And on top of that, and then half the time you buy something, you got to review it.
Yep.
Like everybody wants a review on every damn thing I buy now. It's like, it's like, there you go. But yeah, it's option overload can just paralyze stuff. And a lot of times I'll just be like, I'll just come back whenever. And so I imagine, one of the things you guys combat is the cart abandonment sort of situation, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny. You gave an example of like the hassle, right, of going online and filling out this form and, ticking this box. And by the time you do it, it's just like, I don't have time for this. But you compare it to like, you and I probably both bought things on Amazon. And sometimes, you buy something on Amazon, like you bought it before you even realized you did anything. Like, all of a sudden you just spent $50 and it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I spent that $50, right? That's that's understanding how to make things so easy for people. They just kind of slide into the sale, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to create that kind of experience for whatever your product or service is as much as you can.
Amazon sure knows how to make it simple though, on the seamlessness of it. And I mean, the other thing is too, is you build this trust with Amazon that you can return something.
Yep.
So you can be a little bit more, what's the right word? Flippant at like, well, I don't know if this is going to work out, but I can always return it.
Yep.
Like sometimes, maybe you don't fully understand a product or the comparisons, or, I've gotten products that they're nothing like what they purport to be. And now with AI, they can make pictures that make it look like the product works.
Yep.
Like I just bought some, it looked like a walking octopus that your dog would play with. It was covered in, stuff that would sustain their biting. And it looked like the octopus walked, and the 3D picture showed it walking, or video. And when it came, the legs don't operate at all. You can stand it up, but it just falls down, and it was a total scam. So, but Amazon will return it. So they're keeping it simple. With Amazon, I mean, you can just buy now. It keeps your credit cards, and if not, it goes and hunts for another credit card.
That's right.
I always like how if the one credit card you use, it doesn't go through, you don't hear about it. You just later, it's like, we built this other credit card. I'm like, what?
we took care of that for you. Don't worry about it.
We took care of that. We have 50 of your credit cards or whatever on. Like when I go to Amazon, it's like there's this list of credit cards. I'm like, and half of them have been changed or outdated or whatever. It's like probably 10 of them I need to go in there and just delete or update the thing. But making it easier. You just always want to make the buying process easier. The one concept you had that I kind of had an aha moment on it is this is a way to dramatically get more conversions from traffic that you're already paying for.
Yep.
So, you're paying for the ads, right? You're paying for this to get the eyeballs on your stuff. You want to maximize your ROI, your return on investment. Otherwise you're just going to have to blow more money in ads and lose more abandoned carts.
That's exactly it. And I think a lot of times people don't think about that. I think, Meta and Google and all those guys do a great job at making you think that you go on their platforms and you put in your credit card and you buy a whole bunch of ads and people are just going to come and they're going to purchase and, and you're done. And, Bob's your uncle and rock and roll, right? Like I got everything I need. And it's never that simple, right? People spend mere moments interacting with an ad. The time they spend is what happens after they click on the ad. That's the post-click experience, because that's where they're actually learning and making a decision as to what it is that they do or don't want to do. So if you spent the money to get someone to the site, it only makes sense to say, spend the money even more so where people are spending the majority of their time to help them make that decision. And if you really do it right, and you think about it, if you do it right, not only do you get them to buy the first time, but you establish a relationship with that person, and now they'll come back again, and now you don't have to pay for it. You pay for it once, and you get them to come back and become a customer for the next several months or years or whatever the case may be, right? So you built all this value over that initial purchase, and it wasn't about how pretty your ad was. It was about what happened after that click and the kind of service you were able to deliver through that experience and then subsequently after that.
Yeah. That post-sale service is important too.
Absolutely.
It just really is. Now if I could just get people to quit using chatbots, that would be great. It's that and Zendesk.
Mm.
I'm not even going to get into that. That's a whole
That's a
other
whole
soft
nother. That's
start.
a whole other episode.
I'll be bitching for an hour over that.
Yeah.
Now, you talk about how MarTech stacks only run at 20% capacity, and you help people fix it. What are MarTech stacks for people who don't know, like me?
Yeah. So MarTech is short for marketing technology, right?
Oh,
So it's the technologies that run the
uh-huh.
things on the internet, right? So the technologies that
MarTech.
manage the content on a website, or send out email communications, or send out
Mm-hmm.
text messages, or gather data about the people on the site and what they're doing. It's
Mm-hmm.
all those kinds of technologies. And the reason we know they only run at 20% is because oftentimes the people who sell those technologies will kind of go into the company, and a lot of times they'll sell to the marketing folks, and they'll say, you put this magical tool in, and all you have to do is press this one little simple button, and it will do all these wonderful things for you. And
Ah.
it's never that simple, right? So they go in and they start using this tool, but because they don't understand the complexities behind it, they only use a fraction of what the tool can do. They only use the things that happen when you press the one little button. Well,
Mm,
like maybe 20% of the things it can do, but that's all you know how to do. But if
mm,
you really understood the tool and what's able to do, if you're able to work with the other people in the company to help it do it, to help to work with the engineers and the software developers and all those other folks in the organization, now all of a sudden you're running this thing at full speed, right? Now all of a sudden you're shifting into fifth gear. I don't know if the kids know what fifth gear is anymore, but all of a sudden you're running a fifth gear, right? And you're able to really maximize this and run this engine at full speed.
there you go. There you go. Do they even know what gears are?
I don't think so.
I grew up. I don't know about you, but I grew up in the age where the
Oh yeah, on the side.
gear thing was on the side of the
Yeah,
steering column.
absolutely.
You shift that way, right? And you had like 3 gears, I think it was. I
That's right.
think it was 3 gears in reverse, or reverse might have been one of the gears. I think it was park, drive, and I don't know.
In reverse, I think that was it. Maybe like
Pretty
what,
much,
like
yeah.
low or something. I
There
don't
might
know.
have been, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are crazy days. We should bring those days back.
We
I
should.
that way I can be like, hey, I got a car for you. Here you go. And there's a clutch. So they're like, what
No one
is
can
the
tell.
third pedal for?
That's right.
Braking.
Where's
the
where's the button for the window? How do I
yeah,
put that? Where's the button?
for the power window and the power locks? Yeah. Wait, don't I have this steering wheel's kind of thin. Do I have a bag in there? One of those one bags? No, man, you don't have seatbelts either. So have fun with
That's
that.
right.
But you're in something big enough that can be a casket. So there you go.
There you go.
What else have we talked about that you guys offer with your services, the work you do?
Yeah, so we kind of fill whatever gaps or roles that the company needs, right? So it could be the upfront research and strategy and planning that they need help with. It could be the design and the actual coding and development of the elements on the site, or emails or things like that they need help with. Actually building those things in their system. It could be just kind of managing it on an ongoing basis and maintaining it, measuring what's happening, making sure they're making improvements and tweaks and changes, because none of these things are really set it and forget it. I mean, they can't be. Like, the things are changing way too fast for anything to be kind of just set it and forget it. So a lot of those things that kind of need that maintenance and kind of improvement over time on a constant basis. So you kind of have that whole spectrum of things that need to happen. And with some organizations, we find they just need one or two of those, and some of them need the whole thing. Some of them just need it for the website, and some of them need it for their communications, or both, right? So we're able to be kind of flexible and kind of fill whatever gap that needs to be filled to make those things happen. And because we understand both the marketing side, the creativity, and the technical side, the engineering, right, the coding aspects of it, we're able to kind of be that glue, right, that diplomat I talked about, that's able to sit down at the table and say, okay, marketing, what do you want? Okay, this is how you translate this to engineering. Engineering, this is what they're asking for. So what kind of specifications do you need engineering to make that happen? Okay, great. I'll get that from the marketing folks, right? So you're able to make that translation back and forth so that things are able to move forward smoothly. And that's ultimately what we end up doing. And we just fill the gap that the organization has in terms of how they need to accomplish that and move that forward and do it.
There you go. So what is the client for you that qualifies working for you looks like?
So usually they're large company, probably somewhere north of 100 million, maybe up to maybe 2 or 3 billion. Usually we work mainly with B2C companies, so people that work they're marketing directly to consumers. And a lot of times we spend most of our time with high consideration purchases. So not so much like t-shirts and books, more like travel packages and cruises and healthcare and online education, right? So some of those more intense decisions that need to happen online, higher price point, more risk, more emotional risk to the decision, things where people need to figure things out. They need to talk to the spouse, they need to talk to the family, right? Those kinds of decisions are the ones that we work with because, again, that's where those psychological factors tend to come more into play. That's where making sure the appropriate information there is really coming more into play. So those are the ones that we mostly focus on.
All right. Well, there you go. Do they need to have a minimum net worth or spend a minimum spend or anything special? The size of company, small, medium, large?
Not really. I mean, as long as they're relatively sizable company, like I said, probably about north of 100 million in revenue.
Okay.
By nature of that, their
Mhm.
spend and how much they're spending in marketing and what they're investing and what they're trying to do on the internet is by nature going to kind of afford itself to be the kind of company that we would work with, to have the kind of technology that we would help them to put into place and to maximize and make sure they're really using it and using it well and getting the most out of whatever they're paying for those technologies, right? So if they're using things like Salesforce or those kind of heavy, big technologies to really help them kind of figure out, okay, like what do we do with this so that we're just like lighting money on fire every time we pay this bill, but we're actually getting something out of it and we're using it to actually make us money.
Are we lighting money on fire when we get this bill? Wait, I think you described my whole bill payment systems for the month.
Is that your system?
Yeah, pretty much lighting money on fire.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The I just got a new husky, and it's a husky puppy, and he's pretty much lighting most of my money on fire when it comes to chewable treats and whatever else he decides to destroy.
My son became really kitten, so I can empathize with you there. So yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He just chewed up a cord to a heater, a space heater, just shredded the whole thing like it was like fun. It was fun for him, evidently.
It was great for him.
Yeah. Fortunately, it wasn't plugged in.
My cat did the Alexa cord. He chewed through the Alexa cord. That was nice.
Wow.
So that was done. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. You think I stuck my fingers once in a plug, and that was it for me. I didn't want to deal with electricity directly anymore. And but yeah, I guess you got to learn. So you guys have something on your website called the Digital Experience Strategy Roadmap. Tell us what that is and how that plays into your work with your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times people don't know exactly what they need, right? They know they need help, but they don't know exactly where the gaps are. They just know that things aren't flowing, things aren't working, but they're not sure where it's kind of tripping up in the process. So what we kind of do is we kind of do a bit of an assessment, and we then develop a roadmap that kind of says, okay, well, here's where you're tripping up. Here are the things that you need to do to move forward. So you think about a company that maybe wants to have like an Amazon-like experience, right? Like that cool stuff that Amazon does, like we want to do that stuff. We want it to be personalized. When people come to the website, we want to recommend you should buy this product or you should buy that product or whatever the case is, right? But they don't know the 25 things that need to happen to make that experience come to life. So the roadmap process helps us assess where they are and basically say, all right, here are the 25 things that need to happen. And here's the order in which they need to happen to do it. Do you need us to help you do it? Do you need us to help you find people to do it? Are you guys able to do it internally, which is cool too, right? But just kind of like, here's what needs to happen. And here's generally the order in which it needs to happen to be able to do that. So that's what that roadmap's about. It's about giving them kind of a plan of action to say, here's how you get from point A to point B. Here's the path you need to take in order to get there and reach your destination.
And people can register for a free consultation or book a call with you guys?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's obviously no obligation. It's free. We'll have a chat. And the thing about us is to like, if we're not a good fit, if we're not going to work out for you, like we'll be happy to tell you. We had a conversation maybe about 2 months ago with TripAdvisor, which would have been an awesome client for us. I mean, who wouldn't want to work with TripAdvisor? That's just cool. And it'd be great to get some inside information on trips. But we ended up telling them like, we're not a good fit for what you need. Like, and we kind of turned them down. And that's kind of how we are. Like, we don't want to be in a situation where we're not going to have a good relationship and just like when you're dating, I mean, it's a lot better if after the first or second date, when you realize that maybe we're not too compatible, that's kind of ended now before it turns ugly later. That's kind of how we are when it comes to our relationships with potential clients.
That's pretty smart because, I mean, bad clients could be bad clients, or if it just doesn't work, it's not seamless. It says here on your website, 223% return for every dollar invested in website optimizations. Companies can get a return of, 223%, which is pretty good. And it's money you're already spending. So you're just maximizing the ROI, right?
Exactly. I mean, some companies, they spend additional dollars on that to make sure they're maximizing the ROI on their ad spend. Some companies get started by maybe diverting a portion of their ad spend to improving what happens post-click, right? And they end up seeing just as good, if not better results. And they're actually not spending a dollar more. They're actually just kind of diverting funds to, again, where people are spending their time. So there's all kinds of ways to do it that end up putting them in a much, much better position than they would have been before.
No. Well, there you go. There you go. What more should I be asking you, or anything I've missed that you want people to know about you guys doing business with you?
No, I mean, just that, obviously, we've been doing this now for 16 years. It's funny, wow. Chris, when we started doing this work, we started as kind of what we call a full service agency, which means we kind of did anything because we were starting out. And if you wanted me to pick up your dry cleaning or wash your car or shine your shoes, like, we would have done that because we were starting out and we just wouldn't do anything. But it's funny, over the years, we started to kind of shed different services and really kind of focus on what we do now, which is this technical marketing, post-click experience aspect, for two main reasons. Number one, it's because we liked it better. We didn't really enjoy doing the other stuff. And two, frankly, we weren't really good at doing the other stuff. Like, this is the stuff that we're good at. And it's probably the best decision we made when we kind of just like shed those other services and said, let's just focus on what we enjoy the most and what we're good at. And not only are we happier, we got better at it, right? Because we weren't distracted by kind of the other stuff. So that's what we're about. And we enjoy helping companies, and more important, Chris, frankly, we enjoy helping people. Because in the end, it's nice to be able to say, hey, your company got whatever, another $10 million in sales, or you got, 3,000 more customers or whatever. And that's all fine and good. And I mean, we enjoy that. But in the end, it's about helping you. It's about helping Chris, right? It's about helping you look good, to get the promotion, to get the next job, to get home at a decent hour because you're, not getting stressed out by some big project. Like, that's what we're really focused on. So if I want anyone to know anything about us, it's about that. We started this company because we're focused on the things that are important to us and putting our life first. We want the clients that we work with, we want them to put their life first too. And we want to make them look good. And that matters more to us than how much we can increase conversion for whatever, $1 million company and all that fun stuff.
There you go. Great service. And customer experience is so important. I mean, more people need to monitor it. I really wish I could force like cable companies and CEOs and other people to see the service front end. I just had I was trying to close one of my checking accounts with, I think it was PNC Bank. What a freaking nightmare just to get somebody on the line or talk to somebody, then rigmarole just to close the checking account. It was almost like trying to close your AOL account. Remember how that used to be a thing back in the day? It really became something. They're like, well, you can only close your account if these things apply. It's like, you're not negative, you don't owe money, and there's no pending things. And it's just like a backup account we had for a long time. We're just like, yeah, we really don't use that.
Right.
And it was charging us every month fees. And so finally we just like, American Express and Capital One and other banks, we don't have fees. So I'm like, why are we paying this stupid $8 a month for this crap? Right. Man, it was like getting away from AOL, man. It was rough. And they're like, well, are you sure that you don't owe us any money? I'm like, well, the account's, still got $10 in it. Like, sure, I'm sure we're okay there, buddy. Just anything to keep from closing the account. Or just experience, like, the chat bots are nightmarish. Zendesk is nightmarish. I personally hate both of them. To me, when I run into most of those things, I just look at companies and go, you really don't give a fuck about customer service at all. Like, don't even fucking bother with me. The AI shit's getting to be the worst. And if you start swearing in it now, it just puts you off more. Like, can you reframe the question? And it's like, I'm a pissed off customer at this point and you're asking me to continue you're tone policing me now.
Mhm.
And you just keep typing, give me a live customer,
Yeah,
and
first.
just like F off. And I remember years ago, I think Tom Peters told this story in one of his books, Very Thriving on Chaos. And he talked about there was this company that made the TV dinners. Remember those?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
the whole
they're still
quantum
around, I
view.
think.
Yeah,
If I ever want to commit suicide, I'll just go eat some TV dinners.
TV
Don't
dinners.
do that, folks. So, TV dinners, that ZZ Top song. So, and they couldn't figure out why sales were down. No one wanted to buy their TV dinners. So one day the CEO goes, "Hey man, we're going to start having these TV dinners brought into the boardroom, and we have our board meetings. We're going to eat this crap we're making." And that's when they found out why sales were down, because they were like, "Well, shit, the customer experience is this stuff is garbage. It tastes like garbage. No wonder they're not buying it, because we wouldn't eat it either."
Mhm.
And there's more and more. I used to have that habit. I learned that probably from that story in Tom Peters of tracking your customer's experience
Mhm.
and where you lose them, where they fall out, where they, where they don't feel appreciated or loved, or
Mhm.
it's and like some of the best experiences I have is people put little notes. Like I buy different expensive coffees
Mhm.
that are highly rated, and they'll put notes in the thing, just a simple note, and it
Mhm.
just says, "Hey man, thank you, we appreciate you doing business with us." Sometimes just those little teeny simple things
Huge.
just make all the difference. And I'm like, I want to order with those people again. They value my business. And then
Absolutely.
the review thing, I don't know, is there a way we can get that review thing to stop?
Probably not.
Probably not. Damn it.
Probably
Well,
not.
there you go. It's just you feel so guilty because they're like, "Hey, we're gonna fire Bob if you don't review Bob." You're like, "Well, I don't know Bob. I had an interaction with him that bought some groceries."
Mhm.
And they're like, yeah, Bob's got a wife and 4 kids. And if he doesn't get good reviews, we're gonna kick his can down the road. He's gonna live under the viaduct and shit. You're like, God, Walmart, this is a lot of pressure you're putting on me, man, for Bob. Anyway, there you go. So give people a final pitch out how they can onboard with you, how they can reach out for the emails, or a free consultation, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely. Yeah. So feel free again, find me on LinkedIn, Shamir Duverseau, or on Instagram, and just DM me and reach out directly if you have any questions. Happy to answer them. Or you can go to our website, smartpandalabs.com. You can book a free discovery call. Happy to again have just a quick 30-minute or less chat and just figure out if we're a good fit for each other. And hopefully we can help.
There you go. Well, thank you, sir, for coming on the show, and hopefully we educated some people and got some people to maybe improve their ROI. So call Shamir unless you love just burning money and throwing it out the window. You want to do that, just have kids. I hear that's
That'll do it.
that's what children are like. It's just like throwing your money out the window every day. So there you go. Thanks for tuning in to my audience. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss. Check them out at smartpandalabs.com. You're not going to find any pandas, but I don't know. Shamir seems, fluffy and nice, and so he's going to help you. Maybe you can make enough money to buy some pandas.
Yeah.
Something. If you save enough money, I don't know. Can you buy pandas? I think you have to lease them from China or something.
Yeah, maybe not legally. I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably not legally though.
I'll
There
give
you
you a
go.
stuffed panda. I'll give him stuffed pandas though. I'll give you a stuffed.
I think do you guys have a panda as a mascot sort of thing?
We used to have a panda as a mascot.
Oh.
Yeah, we used to.
Yeah, there you go. I could see like a smart one. You could make a panda, and he has got one of those college hats on or something. They wear
He
graduation.
had glasses and a lab coat.
Yeah, lab coat, and he's like, your
Yeah,
marketing sucks. You need us.
Exactly. He retired though. He retired. He's like living in the islands. He's got his feet kicked up. He's good.
Well, there you go. Hopefully he's sitting on the beach there. He's got his feet up in a Mai Tai or something in the thing there. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.
Gotta love the brain bleed.